are you doing a lot of marketing now too?
Yeah, like the same consistent things because sometimes when things are going well, you tend to neglect stuff that actually work.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I've maintained consistent with is like social media marketing, and then as I do my fall campaigns going into the next year, it's like perfect time to put out content. So
Yeah.
just want to maintain consistency with that.
Okay. So, I mean, I actually want to talk to you about the marketing, but I want to introduce you first. So, this is Amoura Barnes, also Bianca. I call you Amoura, but everybody else calls you Bianca.
Literally, Bianca Amoura Barnes. Everybody knows me by my middle name, Amoura.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm a broker associate here in South Florida with the Barnes Group at United Realty. I was actually born in Miami and raised in Broward, going back and forth between Miramar and Ocho Rios, Jamaica, where majority of my family still currently lives. And honestly, what my first experience and encounter real estate was with my aunt in Jamaica. She, growing up, I would spend time with her and see what she does for a living. And she ultimately, like, once we hit the road, she would just go and visit her many properties and speak with tenants, arrange inspections and I would say upgrades to be done so she could get more rent, and just having that interaction as a youth and growing up and seeing like, oh wow, this is why my aunt never really went to work because she owns properties. So that was what really kind of exposed me to real estate. And then as I got older, of course, watching $1 Million Listing, I was like seeing what these guys do, like Ryan Serhan and Frederick Eklund, and I'm like, I could do that because I like to sell stuff. I love nice houses, interior design and stuff. So it just kind of merged well with my personality. So that was kind of my introduction into real estate. I had never heard about it up until that real show, my interaction with my aunt, the show that kind of like solidified it as a job. And then I kind of got into it. And there was the birth.
So that's interesting. So you found out about real estate in Jamaica.
Yes.
So how is, I don't know if you, maybe now because I know that you visit there quite often. How is real estate over there? How does it kind of differentiate than over here?
Honestly, a lot of people will say that they're kind of, in competition with U.S. prices because they try to keep up. Like, yeah,
Really?
You will see a single family home that's like regular, might be even smaller, but then they want $400,000 US dollars. For me personally, I'm like, if it's a house in Jamaica, then sell it in Jamaican dollars, make it like more affordable that way. Because me as an investor coming with US dollar, I'm thinking about translation. So if it's cheaper in Jamaican dollars, then I would be more inclined to invest. But what they're trying to do now is just raise the prices up to US prices and even sell it in US prices. So it's just very demanding there, very much so as it is here.
Do you think because I don't think that's the locals doing that. I would assume that that's because of the birth of short-term rentals and Airbnbs and stuff like that.
100%. It's all a tactic to attract international investors because there's not a lot of people that's actually living there buying those property. Most people prefer to buy the land and build their own property like over time. So that's what most people tend to do. But as an investor wanting to break into that market, it's mostly a discussion of short-term rentals, Airbnb being very, very good there. Because I recently went there with a group of friends and we stayed in a villa that was like in Montego Bay. And it was only like 4 nights we spent there and spent like $1,500. And I'm like thinking, dang, there's like how many more days in the month? So I'm like, this person is making a ton of money. So that is definitely the first place that I'm investing outside of the U.S. to just kind of build. And I also have that tie to, want to do that and cement that in my family history. So definitely I'm going to invest in Jamaica real estate. Everybody should because it's a vacation destination. And let's say if you want to do a family vacation and you have to stay at an all-inclusive resort, I mean, you're paying on average like $300 a night. So you might as well just invest from now because it'll save you over time.
Yeah. And you're thinking about, have you gotten quotes? Because I think we had a conversation about this, about maybe buying a plot of land in Jamaica and building.
Literally.
Have you seen more or less what those quotes are? Is it going to be much better than just getting something that's already pre-built?
it really just kind of depends on what you want to deal with. Because I've seen processes like we constantly make additions to my grandparents' house, and we have a lot that we have to develop. So it's just the capital. So if you're somebody, you're like, hey, I have the capital for a down payment, I want the house ready, I want to kind of move in, then maybe some of those new construction options would be better because you don't want to have to deal with the headache of drafting a plan, going to parish council to get it approved and all of that. So it depends on the end user and the investor, like what your goals are.
Okay.
But, if I wasn't like Jamaican, or if I was like an outside person coming into the country to invest, I would probably suggest getting something that's like turnkey essentially, so you don't have to deal with the headache of finding contractors, architects, parish council, all of that. Like you kind of bypass that. Just here's my money, I want my house, my title, and that's it.
That's actually, because I'm considering buying elsewhere too. And I remember I was listening to Lil Duval one time, and he was saying that people on the islands, and I kind of want to transfer this over to real estate, right? Because people on the islands, they live so carefree because they understand that all of that stuff can be wiped away with a hurricane or something like that. So looking at what happened to Fort Myers, is that the sentiment in Jamaica as well, where it's just like, we have this, but we understand that at any given moment that this could be wiped out and we have to rebuild and stuff like that.
I guess it'll depend on your insurance, right? Because it's a risk. Owning an asset is a risk entirely. So having your insurance is going to make a difference. But in terms of Hurricane Ian that just passed, talking to my family, they weren't really affected by it. There's like, because we're up on a mountain essentially.
Oh,
so
nice. Okay.
More people that's like near the seaside and stuff, they might be experiencing some flooding and stuff. But I mean, structures are still standing, and it also has to deal with the fact that majority of the homes built there are concrete construction. So they can withstand a hurricane. It's not like here where you have a lot of construction, but you might have some wood frame, some panel and stuff. You really won't find that here.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I saw from Fort Myers and Fort Myers Beach, I think it was a lot of like wood panels, stuff like that.
Boardwalk, and I was literally there. We went fishing there earlier this year, and just to see the aftermath, it's no longer. Oh my God!
I saw a picture of the pier, like before and after, and it literally looked like an apocalypse.
It looked like a tornado, not even a hurricane. So my heart goes out to everybody affected by that. It just kind of is hard to kind of imagine when you're not directly affected. So you just kind of want to be, give empathy and just kind of, stand out.
Absolutely. I was thinking about, because I'm supposed to be getting hurricane windows and doors in my house, and I've been delaying.
Oh,
and as soon as I saw it, I literally called my friend that's helping me, and I'm like, yo, what, like, let's go. Like, I'm ready to move it, because
but it's more expensive during hurricane season to get windows.
I know, but
and
we're doing it through the like Y Green or Pace or stuff like that. So we're getting it financed. Really, what I'm doing is I'm going to get it financed, but before I actually have to start making the payments, I'm going to do a refinance on the house. I'm just waiting for rates to come down.
Okay.
But that way I can at least get that stuff going. And before the interest starts accruing, I just knock out the principal.
About rates going down, do you think? Like that's anytime soon?
Yeah, I think so. I think something has to give, right, in terms of when you shoot up from 3% in the beginning of the year to 7%. Right now, where we're at, that's a 4% increase in less than a year. It's something that we've really never seen in terms of the rate environment. The last time that this happened, I think, was like 2017, 2018, where rates went up a whole 1.5%, 2% throughout that year, and everybody was freaking out. And now, imagine now. But in terms of the actual indicators and the technicals and stuff like that, what I'm thinking, or what I believe, is that because the Fed is basically going to pivot to us into a recession, we're going to see we're going to see rates come back down, because during a recession, people put their money into long-term things, including bonds, U.S. bonds specifically. And so as as investors put money in U.S. bonds, that helps with mortgage rates. Mortgage rates come down because mortgage-backed securities are bonds as well. And so typically we see rates lowered during recessions for that reason. We see home prices raised during recessions for that reason. So while everybody's freaking out and the Fed is basically saying we're going to have to go into recession, like they've kind of said that that's what they're going to drive us to, essentially, that's going to end up being good for the real estate market. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, because there was only one other recession where house prices didn't go up, and that was in '08, and that was because of the
Yeah.
banking crisis
Directly
for the most part.
related to
Yeah.
mortgages.
But other than that, every other recession that we've ever had leads to lower interest rates and higher home prices. So,
yeah. And honestly, I tell people, like, honestly, I feel like it's a lot of noise out there right now. You know, rates, when you look at it historically, like, you know, the average, I think, percentages was like 7.7% in terms of rates from the 80s up until now. So even though it's in the sixes, I mean, it's just higher than it was recently, but it's just not as high as it was historically. So I just tell people, like, just kind of try to find out how you want to navigate. If you weren't able to compete, like when it was a strong seller market these past 2 years, maybe now that there are longer, like instead of it being a week average days on market, it's more like 13 to 18 days. So now maybe you might be able to come in below asking price, may be able to request a seller's credit, you know, but it's important to pay attention to the tone of the market in the immediate area that you're searching in, because if you're in a area where people have a strong demand for single family homes, there are good school zones, like even though it might be a little slower in other places, this particular area you might still have to offer above asking price. You might still have to do an appraisal gap. So you really just kind of have to read the market that you're in immediately and team up with a real estate professional that can provide you with the research, you know, let you know, hey, these are the specs for this area that you're intending to purchase a property in. Use this as your guide of measure for your offer strategy.
and you specifically are really good at what you do as a realtor because you look into the local markets like that. It's not just about showing the houses and selling them and stuff like
It's
that.
a lot more than that.
Yeah, and and I think that's what really gets you to the level that you're at right now and continuing to grow. So, I kind of want to ask you, you know, building a team now.
You know, it's just kind of testing the systems that I use currently to see how it works and, you know, building that culture and stuff. And, you know, honestly, my views on having a team or even owning a brokerage is just like you have to take up the responsibility. It's a liability. So, you know, for me, it's just like, you know, I definitely intend to have a brokerage. So I'm just following these steps now to, you know, see how systems work, build that framework, take on that role and responsibility and do something. Because I'm a person, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. I'm not going to half-ass it. So I just, you know, kind of work with my timing, God's timing, and if they align, they align, and I just do the work. Most importantly, just do the work, because, you know, you can be a guru, you can be an expert, but if you don't do the work, if you're scared of the work, then you won't get anywhere. So that's really what I preach to my team, and they're very supportive, and I'm just, you know, we're all focused on growth.
That's awesome. So, and I think the most important thing as a realtor when you're starting to build your team is get people that align with what you're doing and that are motivated too, because the hardest thing to do as a realtor when building your team is to keep people motivated, because a lot of people come into this industry and they think that it's going to be easy, or they think that they can work 2 hours a day.
Oh man, so talk about it. People see the work, you know, because what people see most time are the pictures. They watch these shows, you know, and see what real estate is supposed to be, but a lot of these shows and a lot of these pictures don't show the back end work. You know, it's a lot of grueling work that takes place beyond these pictures. And, you know, especially like in my interview process, is making that like evidently clear. Like, it's not just picture fancy, all peaches. Like, you have to really work, and you put your head down and you work, and your treat, your celebration is your client's review at the end of your transaction, their happiness to be able to share their experience with other people they may know that need to do the same thing. And, you know, that's how you build a business, essentially. You cannot skip the building. You have to take the stairs.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that what you doing when you're coming to this industry is you're building your business. You're running a business. And people come in here and they don't, or come into the real estate industry and they don't realize that. And that's what I tell a lot of my agents when we do the Monday Mortgage Minute. It's, you know, there's a difference between being self-employed and running a business. Which one do you want to do, or which one do you want to be?
Business, you know, a lot of people are scared of that part because we're in a service-based business, and a lot of people feel like, you know, you have to just, you know, you're self-employed, so you have to be self-burnt too. I'm not afraid to say I'm happy to hire help. Like, you know, that's why I have a transaction coordinator. Like, that's why I'm hiring a showing agent. Like, the whole idea is to be able to cover more ground, but keep that customer experience there and be able to do more. Because if I have somebody that can do the admin stuff, then I could just focus on being me, which attracts the clients that I want to work with and just essentially just moves this muscle forward. So yeah, don't be afraid to grow and run your business like a business, because most time when you start doing that, people will respect your processes, and the people that don't respect your processes, then they're not your ideal client. Just period.
Yeah, I agree with that. What is it that you do to get your business now? Like you have these, you're putting these processes in place with the transaction coordinator, so you have that alleviated from you. You have your team. You're getting a showing agent now. So what is it? Are you just basically going full on to get like basically just straight up sales all throughout the day? And
Yeah,
what does that
just
look like?
sales. And so as far as my how I get my clients, praise God that most of them are referrals or either through social media, which is why it's like, because I get a lot of word of mouth referrals. So sometimes when that works for you, you tend to kind of kind of alienate the things that work for you, like social media. And I kind of saw that a few months ago. And I was just like, no, because fall time, I mean, essentially with real estate, you tend to pick up then because people kind of have their New Year's resolution. They want to do stuff, and, they kind of have goals that they set out for the year. So the fall is kind of when it gets like busy. So I just was like, I can't have a time where I like alienate the social media marketing because the word of mouth is so good. I'm just going to stay consistent with that. And if that works, like just social media, word of mouth, and just what I could do in my community with my people. And I just like talking to anybody that could give me an ear to talk, I would talk. And so that's really how I get a lot of my business. And that's why the biggest thing I tell people, you cannot be a secret agent. People need to know you sell houses. They need to know you do this for real. It's not just I have a 9 to 5 and I do it on the side kind of thing. Like, you're in it for real, So, that's really how you get to start running your business as a business.
And I know that you mentioned, damn, I was gonna get on something. So you said about working in your community. What is it that you do actively doing that?
So, immediately, of course, I'm involved with my church. Anything that I can do. We still have been doing church via Zoom. But whenever I could go physically, I do that. And then, like, annually, we do, like, a homeless event where we feed the homeless through outreach. And then we have another annual event where we do, like, a beach cleanup and things of
That's
that
awesome.
sort. And then, as you know, we're having our Realtor networking night. And you're going to be our mortgage guy for the event because, the importance of being in real estate is knowing that it's good to network with people that do the same thing as you. And that's, like, where I get my sense of community from. So, that's why just knowing people that look like you in the industry or that go through the same struggles that you do, we connect. And so, having that realtor group that, links up and we get together, discuss ideas, talk about market shifts and stuff, that's just amazing. And then in addition to that, I'm a part of the YPN committee with my board. We do a lot of outreach there and events. So I just like to be involved, but at the same time, it's like, I am building a business. So it's just kind of like, I just try to use my time wisely.
The Broward YPN, how can, because I'm very familiar with the Miami YPN, and it may just be because of social media, where like I see them stuff and stuff like, because I'm trying to see how I can start going to Broward YPN events as well, or helping on that end.
Okay, I can put you in touch with our representative that can get you onboarded, and so that you can start attending those events, maybe even as an affiliate sponsor, things of that sort, because they need people like that. But I mean, they're very open. It's easy to get involved. I could give you that contact information. We do the same things that Miami YPN does. It's young professional network.
Yeah.
So just trying to get with people that do the same thing, that are millennials. Some not, but just people that are in the industry and just need that support and camaraderie. That's where we come in.
Perfect. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I'm excited for the appreciation, the realtor appreciation thing. We did it last year, right?
Yeah, we did it at.
We did it at Play in Hard Rock.
Yeah, that was it. Half the things that makes me happy is seeing it grow every year. Because our first one was at Gulfstream at the little bowling alley there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just met and everybody did what they were doing. But now it seems like we can really structure something to really continue on and be amazing, like on a certain level. And I'm just a person, especially Barnes Group is hosting it, so we just decided to have a different host every year, like a different team or brokerage as a host. So Barnes Group is hosting this one. I think it's going to be a good thing to have another brokerage or team host it moving forward, because, you know, you want to get into the room and, you know, talk to other people and just kind of, you know, make people excited. And, you know, for me, if I'm going to do something, I like to do it a certain way. So I'm like, if we're going to do the pilot this way, I would really like to kind of oversee it. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be dope. Yeah. If I'm involved, it's going to be dope.
I liked it a lot. A lot of real estate professionals now, especially, you know, minority real estate professionals, that we are really getting together, and it's not competition like it was just a few years back.
Literally a few years ago.
Yeah. I went to a networking event not too long ago, and I was there with Leroy Thompson. He's a broker down here and actually in Pines, Combs Premier Realty. And he was like, man, I just came from Atlanta at the time. And he's like, everyone in Atlanta, like, they do these networking events all the time. You know, it doesn't matter if you guys are, you know, realtors in different brokerages and stuff like that. It's just about getting together, having a sense of community. So seeing that happen in multiple different areas within South Florida is great, because I know Jeffrey Coriolan and Claudine Hibbert, they're doing the same thing. They did one this week, and they're planning to do it every single month, where they're just kind of getting people together, realtor appreciation type of things that they're doing. You're doing one as well. I think I'm part of NAREB as well. I'm going to be getting on the board soon, but NAREB does a great thing as well with getting the local realtors together and really pushing the envelope and helping community and stuff like that. I'm excited for the coming years.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it's funny that you mentioned like how they do things in Atlanta, because honestly, one of the original organizers, Geneva and Ashley Bellance, the goal was to make this networking event like what they do in Atlanta. Like everybody in the room, like, you know, we just support each other regardless of teams, brokerages. Like we can all relate knowing that we're minorities in this business. And that was the ultimate goal for this event. So, you know, thanks to them for seeing the vision and moving it forward and just keep it going. Because, like, you know, honestly, you know, thinking back to when I first got licensed, like, you know, I didn't just go into real estate just straight. I started as an assistant to a broker to kind of get that experience. And I started in the country club in Boca. So it's safe to say that it was just a different experience. So that's why I just kind of saw the meat, took the meat, left the bones. And I was like, I could really do this and do it to get to my people. And essentially my people are the people that will follow my processes, and, you know, we can relate. And I'm just so grateful that, like, literally majority of my clients, we can relate, you know, either business owners, either Caribbean, or we just could relate. So I'm just so happy to just be seeing this real estate in 2022, you know, how it works.
Yeah. What do you feel about the landscape for next year? In terms of your business, have you seen it? I think the first 6 months, it was completely different than these last 3 months. And then I think the last 3 months are going to be completely different for this year as well.
Yes.
Is there any worry for you, for your business? Do you have a plan already in place and stuff like that?
So for me and my business, I operate through faith. So let's just start with that. So it just goes back to the noise, right? I kind of filter it out, because, like, when my God says move, I'm going to move. And I just kind of haven't been as determined as I am now to just continue what I'm doing. Just be consistent, be knowledgeable. Because it's not like I'm forcing houses on these people. I'm not making them sign. Like, I'm educating them, telling them, advising them. And that's what I do. And I'll continue to do that. And I'm just blessed to be in a position to have first-time home buyers, investors that want to buy stuff cash when the market, you know, goes down. So you kind of have to structure your business in a way that it'll be recession-proof. So I really don't have a fear in my heart. I just kind of more determined to educate people more and let them know it's not the end-all be-all. Like, you can buy down your interest rate. We can, you know, if you hire me as your realtor, we can come up with some strategic ways to kind of buy down that interest rate, to, you know, get a seller credit so you bring less to closing. Yeah. Like, there are ways to maneuver. So as far as the next 3 months, I could just take it week by week, and every week, as long as I'm doing something that's going to benefit somebody, allow them to achieve their goals, then I think when we're at this time next year, we'll be like, we made it. So
yeah, the greatest transfer of wealth happens during times like this, right? So as long as you strap up and you do what you're supposed to do, that it really shouldn't be an issue. And that's kind of what I tell my team too all the time, is that as long as we work and we do what we're supposed to do and we don't worry about anybody else, we'll be fine. Because ultimately we cannot control the market. Like, we don't control rates, right? The rates go to where they want to go. The market is the market. No one can control it, unfortunately. And so we just got to take it how we get it and find a way to make it work.
yeah, ultimately, because if you talk to, I've attended probably like in the last 2 weeks about 4 real estate conferences just to get knowledge about what's going on in the market, how to navigate a shifting market. And I love talking to people that have been in the real estate industry like 20, 30 years, because they give you the real. And they're like, man, I used to sell houses with 18% interest. And like, regardless of what, like once people decide that they want to structure their family and get an asset, like that's what matters. So I hear it from the old heads, the people that have been in the industry, and just even through my experience seeing, what the market was before, pre-pandemic market, post-pandemic market. And one thing that just maintains the same is just that confidence level.
Yeah.
As long as you're confident in what you're saying, your clients will be confident.
Yeah.
And, I just have this unwavering thing that just, I'm going to educate you and I'm going to let you know your options. You can buy a house, you cannot buy a house, but at the end of the day, you're paying somebody. So, we're going to make it through. Not concerned.
Yeah, and if you wait for rates to go down next year, they
Prices
do.
are going to go up.
Prices go up, exactly. Yeah. So it's just about that cycle. What is it that you do when you're not working?
When I'm not working, I'll go to Jamaica. I'm not even going to lie. I will go home and just be with my grandma on the veranda. If I'm going to be here and not working, I'll go fishing with my boyfriend. I love to fish.
Really?
I didn't even know.
I didn't know that.
Remember I told you we was at the pier that got knocked down in Fort Myers? But yeah, my boyfriend exposed me to fishing a couple years ago. And I don't know if it's because I was always kind of pushed off to the side. I would want to go fishing into football games with my father and my brothers and stuff, but they would be like, oh, it's a man thing. So I'd be like, oh, okay. Growing up thinking that women don't fish. Man, when I finally went to the pier and see how much nice women go fishing, and like, it's really fun for me. So I would go fishing.
That's awesome.
Next thing is the beach. Anything involving water. I'm Aquarius. So anything outside, beach. And then if not, I'm just home sleeping. I love my eye back. I love sleeping. And so those 4 things really, or with family. Because I have a newborn in the family, and my niece lives in Texas, which is just out of reach sometimes. So the baby that was just born and lives with my family is kind of getting me through this time without my niece for now. But yeah, family, beach, fishing. Yeah.
I had no idea that you fished.
Oh,
I had no idea. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nah. It doesn't look like it with these nails. But I'm the one that go in the bucket, get the shrimp, put it on the line.
Put it on the
Yep,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. What is it? So pretty much going to wrap up here. So I think we've been already going for about 40 minutes. Right? Let me see. Yeah, about 30 minutes. So I kind of want to, I want you to promote yourself in terms of, how people can reach you, number one, first and foremost, on your social medias and stuff like that. I want you to talk about a little bit about that Realtor Appreciation event, because I want to be able to people to hear it from you, and then that way we can promote that as well.
Okay. So as far as where you can find me, you can visit my website, biancaamora.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at the Bianca Amoura, or Barnes Group, barnes.group. You can also call me, 954-800-2077. And also, in terms of our Realtor Appreciation event, we're going to be having that on November 10th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Suite 1 in Hollywood. Come ready to network, make connections, hear from great expert lenders and title companies, and just be in the room with other individuals that are real estate professionals that are hungry to really shift the wealth gap in real estate and just do what they do and do it well. So please make it out. We'll be happy to see you. And thank you so much, Mike, and your team for having me here today.
Thank you for coming.
It's amazing.
We tried to do it one time before. We had to reschedule.
Yeah.
And then, so we finally were able to get it done. But I'm excited. And I'm doing a lot of these videos now. This is my second podcast. I'm going to be putting it up on Spotify and on Apple podcasts. This is probably going to be like my 6th YouTube video in like 2 months.
Good.
So
That's
I'm doing a lot of YouTube now. I'm trying to shift over from
streams.
Mm-hmm.
Like streams, I mean, multiple streams. Because once you get views, you can get paid from doing what you already do.
Yeah, I'm trying to shift over from Instagram because a lot of my a lot of my social media came from Instagram. I'm gonna continue to do that. But what I'm noticing is that when people are searching for things and for people to really for big audiences to really find you right now, it's through TikTok and through YouTube. Like people are going to TikTok, how to do this, how to do that, to watch a 2-3 minute video on how to do things. And then people go to YouTube. People have always gone to YouTube, YouTube University, just to kind of go through to find out about mortgages, realtors in South Florida, different things like that.
YouTube is really, really a platform that I don't think a lot of people utilize like that. So definitely continue doing that. I'm revamping my channel myself. Got to. You know me, I just like to do things a certain way. So
if you do YouTube, you'll probably enjoy it because I'm enjoying it. I have my vlog stuff there. I posted my first vlog the other day. I'm having fun just recording random moments. And I sat down and editing was a pain in the
it's the editing.
Yeah. The editing
I'm the type to hire an editor because
I tried to do that, but on Fiverr it was like,
oh, they don't do it how you want it.
Yeah, that, and if they do, it's very expensive because when you're doing a vlog, unless you're gonna do like a 5-minute, 10-minute vlog or whatever, like mine was 15 minutes long for that first episode, and so to hire somebody for that, they were gonna charge me like $300-400, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna learn how to do this myself.
Yeah, every time. That's why I was like, that's so funny you say that because I was like, how much I pay them to do the drone? I do photo shoots all the time, and I was like, I could just buy the drone myself. So I bought the drone, but I'm just all about hiring people, so I'm still gonna hire my photographer, videographer, but maybe I want to bust out with the drone sometimes, so I'm teaching myself. It's okay to teach yourself. I'm all for that. So
I got a drone too. Same thing. Leroy, he's the one that got me to get the drone, and he got me to get the camera too. And I've been using the drone, but I never get good footage.
What is it? The DJI Mavic?
The very small one.
The mini one.
The
2
mini one.
Or 3?
The 3. The newest one.
The newest one. Oh, you know. I got the 2. I definitely have the 2. But it's so weird. I'm glad that it just hovers. It stays in place. When you don't press anything. But I'm just trying to do it how my videographer does it, and I'm not there yet. But
you could take it fishing. Like that would honestly be amazing to go on the pier.
Yeah.
Get it up on the ocean.
Yes.
And start flying it over so you can see like through the ocean and stuff like that. Maybe you can have a nice little video.
Yes, I'm just scared of the water, but
Me too.
I have to try to practice to get this shot because we're going on a boat, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the shot. It's because of the gimbal and the moving part, but
yeah, it's very difficult.
So me and my sister was playing with it, and we're struggling, right? And then, I take my boyfriend to go play with it. He's just out the gate with it, just got the angles, and I'm like, bro, guys and their toys, like, bro, like, for me, I was so fidgety with it, and he just came flying.
For me, I know how to use it. The thing is, I'm scared to get it to put it too far, because I'm like, man, if this thing runs out of battery or if it falls or whatever, I just spent like $1,000 on this thing.
Did you get the insurance?
No, I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get it either. I wouldn't look into it, but it just sounds stupid sometimes. Yeah. I'm like, I might as well get another one because I'm doing the maths for the year. And I'm like, if I spend more than $250, then is it really worth it? I might as well just buy another one. But that's cool. But
thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes.
This is podcast number 2 with Amoura Barnes, Bianca Amoura Barnes, of course, for the United Realty. You guys can follow her on social media, give her a call if you have any questions, if you are looking to buy, sell, or anything like that in terms of real estate, cash, not cash, doesn't matter, give her a call. And if you are a realtor watching this, hopefully we see you November 10th at the networking event. It's going to be great. One thing that I push with realtors too is the same thing, network as much as you can, meet as many people in the industry as you can because it's going to go a long way. But thank you guys, to the next one. Peace.
Take care.